It's it's like trying to remember a dream. I remember bits and pieces and I get chills because I couldn't see, and that was extremely scary. By far the scariest thing I think I've ever felt. I didn't know if I'd ever see again. I remember the EMTs saying at one point he's having a stroke. Um, this was in the actual ambulance, and they just kept keeping me calm and quiet. And I was just sitting there praying the entire time.
And I'd handed him a bite of food and he signaled to me that he was choking. Once I got that clear, his eyes were locked in the upward left position. Like he was looking like this and he was talking to me, but his eyes were locked and he was telling me he couldn't see anything. He's like, everything's black. I can't see anything. I can't see you. This is scary. In the meantime, my 11-year-old, we had gotten to the phone. He had given us his phone to call 911. We were in Jacksonville Beach at the time, and thankfully, Jacksonville has a Mayo Clinic. When he came to and woke up, he was intubated through that whole process. And so we didn't know if he knew who he was. When they did scans of his brain and in the MRI, they described it as fireworks. And when you do a scan like that, it shows up as a big white spot. And it's a big hit in one area, whereas for Frue, it was like spurts and just different areas were hit, and it looked like fire burst through the scan. I only saw that scan once, and it was enough.
I only remember certain times during that whole week. I couldn't. I thought it was minutes that went by. Apparently, I was out for days. Had no idea.
In between all of that, we were able to identify, like, okay, he knows who he is. He knows who I am. I asked him, like, is my name Sarah? Is it Brittany? Is it Jennifer? And I went through a couple names before I got to my own. And I would tell him, like, squeeze my hand if I'm giving you the right name. And he squeezed, right? It's like, okay, like, you know who I am. That's a good sign. They tapped the trach when you're able to start talking.
Yeah.
And you found your voice. They told him, like, hey, not everyone is able to do this the first time, so don't be discouraged. And he was able to give him a good ah. And then I told him, I said, I love you. And he was able to respond with, I love you. And so it was an incredible moment. I love you.
I love you.
I remember them trying to help me sit up. Yeah, it took time, a lot of time. They'd have to hold me up, two people.
To balance in bed,
And
and just to
I
set up.
remember her looking over at me and saying, all I want for you to do is focus. And I want you to stand up and give me a hug for Christmas. And it just broke me inside. I just said, okay, I got to do this, you know. If this is the last thing I give her for a while, I'm going to give it to her. And I spent the next couple weeks until I could stand up and give you a hug. They understood how I felt without me telling them, and that's a big deal. We just live in a world that's cold sometimes, so you know, and they could look at me and know, like, this is gonna be tough, but you can do it. And they just helped me a lot, and Rachel helped me a lot. My family did. But I will forever be in debt to them for that. They were so amazing.
So here we are, what, a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I would say you've continued to get better. People look at him and go, "Oh, well, he's back to normal. He's great." It's like, You notice he's got glasses. He didn't have glasses before. The left side of his face was impacted, and the right side of his body was impacted. You have I think it's a sixth nerve palsy in one of your eyes. I can't
Believe
remember.
my right.
Yeah, it basically pulls his eye over to where it's like two cameras, but one's just off.
So I
It
have
gives him
double
double
vision.
vision. So he can't see depth. See, like 2D, everything's flat.
Yeah.
So no driving.
With everything going on, hearing my voice for the first time, I never thought I would hear myself again. I think when you're in that quiet for so long, you really start thinking about life and what matters and what doesn't. And I have to remind myself even today, like, don't forget where you were. Stay humble. If I got upset about something or frustrated or angry, I have to remind myself there was a point in time I couldn't even express that. Just incredibly, incredibly grateful for how my journey has gone.